History remembers the great financial bubbles that broke nations, tulip mania, dot-coms, and subprime mortgages. But in the 1930s, a different kind of crisis struck. The Dust Bowl, a disaster born from ecological arrogance. Today, in July 2026, that historical nightmare has returned. But it isn't hitting farms, it's hitting luxury real estate. Millions of homes across America and Southern Europe have just become economically dead, unsellable, worthless. The trigger isn't Wall Street greed. The trigger is a silent mathematical withdrawal of the matrix holding it all together. Welcome to the burst of the climate insurance bubble, a multi-trillion-dollar default that cannot be bailed out. In this investigation, we uncover the terrifying mechanics of how reality finally caught up with the banks. For decades, coastal real estate was the ultimate symbol of wealth. If you made it, you bought a house by the ocean. Prices did nothing but go up. Banks issued trillions in mortgages, treating these sun-drenched coastlines as permanent gold mines. But the entire multi-trillion-dollar system relied on one invisible foundation: the ability to shift the risk. Enter the insurance companies, giants like State Farm, Allstate, and global reinsurers like Munich Re. They were the shock absorbers. To get a mortgage, you must have home insurance. It protects the bank if the house burns down or washes away. No insurance means no mortgage. But between 2022 and 2025, something shifted. The physical world began breaking the financial models. The storms became too frequent. The fires in Greece, Spain, and Italy became too violent. Insurance companies weren't just losing money, they were bleeding out. And then the math caught up. In late 2025, the Titans decided they had enough. They started to quietly pack their bags and leave. When a risk becomes 100% guaranteed to happen, it is no longer a risk. It is a certainty. And you cannot insure a certainty. By mid-2026, over 3 million homes in Florida and the European Mediterranean became effectively uninsurable on the private market. The matrix cracked. State-backed insurers of last resort tried to step in, but their funds were a drop in the ocean. The bubble was full, and all it needed was a single season of realization for the entire real estate market to shatter. It happened in a chain reaction. First, the buyers disappeared. Why? Because banks looked at the uninsurable properties and locked the vaults. No insurance, no mortgage. Suddenly, if you wanted to buy a beautiful house in Miami or a villa in Alicante, you couldn't use a bank. You needed 100% cash. The buyer pool shrunk by 95% overnight. Cash buyers demanded massive discounts. Panic set in. Homeowners who expected their properties to be their retirement nests woke up to a brutal reality. Their $1 million asset was now worth $400,000, and nobody wanted it. By July 2026, real estate valuations in coastal Florida and Southern Europe crashed by over 50%. It is the largest single destruction of housing wealth since 2008. But the true harm is where this toxicity goes next. It goes directly to the balance sheets of the global banking system. When a property value drops by half, the owner owes more on the mortgage than the house is worth. Strategic defaults began. People walked away, handing the keys to the banks. Regional banks in the US and major lenders in Europe are now holding trillions of dollars in collateral that is physically degrading and financially worthless. A silent banking crisis has begun. The money simply evaporated because the financial system forgot to calculate the cost of the physical world. This is not a crisis of bad loans. This is a crisis of bad reality. And reality always wins. To understand how we got here, we have to look back at the greatest ecological financial disaster in history. In the 1920s, American farmers overplowed the Great Plains, believing the rain would always follow the plow. They ignored the ecology for short-term profit. When the drought hit in the 1930s, the soil turned to dust. The Dust Bowl destroyed families, triggered mass migrations, and worsened the Great Depression. The lesson then was simple. You cannot cheat nature. If you destroy the physical asset, the financial value becomes zero. Today, the real estate market of Florida and the Mediterranean is our modern Dust Bowl. We built glass castles in the path of storms, insured them with paper, and pretended they would last forever. The permanent high plateau of property values was an illusion, sustained only by the willingness of insurance companies to absorb the losses. Now, that willingness is dead. The ultimate lesson of the 2026 climate insurance bubble is that financial systems cannot ignore physical reality forever. Risk must be priced correctly. If you build an empire on properties that cannot be insured, you are building on sand. And when the tide rises, the collapse is mathematically guaranteed. Arrogance always costs the future. Capital will have to adapt, retreat, and rewrite the rules of survival. The map of global wealth is being redrawn right now, not by politicians or armies, but by underwriters and climate models. Subscribe for more deep financial investigations. Leave a comment with your thoughts, and I will see you in the next case file.